Hello, everybody, and welcome to my series for December, which is the Reflect, Choose, and Celebrate Challenge. And I am Heather Cameron. If you don't know me, I am the owner of these Ignite Your Market coaching programs, and also I do a summit called the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. And I wanted to create this challenge because I think there's way too much focus and pressure on making sure that, you get everything ready for January. And I think we forget that we need to close off a year. We need to look at a year and really reflect, because the strength of the exercise that we do to reflect on the year that has gone by is the quality to which we do that, and the strength to which we do that is going to reflect on how we make plans for the next year. And personally, I don't believe that you need to be making and tying down and have the perfect plan before January 1st, 2026. I've never believed that. In fact, I think there's power in, and I'm sorry, my eyes are going in weird directions here. This is Restream just set everything up differently, and I'm a little confused on what I'm doing, but that's okay. We're going to get there. But I really do believe that we don't need to put this huge pressure on having the perfect plan at the beginning of a year. It's not necessary. We have, if you don't have your perfect plan until February or March, you can still have a fantastic year. And I've always believed in 90-day rolling plans. But I do think we all have fiscal years and other things, and there is this sense of beginning and end. And so to make a powerful plan, to make a powerful move in the new year, we need to reflect. We need to look back. We need to celebrate. We need to learn from what's happened. And I think we need to do that in a really quiet way. And I don't mean quiet way, in a really, we need to do that by creating a space to do that. And that's what I'm trying to get at here. So we need to do that to create a space to do that reflection and choose, and not to make it complicated and not to make it overwhelming. So the intention of the reflect, choose, and celebrate is one simple question per week. So there's 5 weeks. We're going to have 5 questions per week. If you're on my email list, you're getting this in the email list. And if you just pop by, then thank you for being here. And there's a link down below to come and join us and to do this reflection. So the reflection for week 1, the one focus that we have, it is December, and December can be a crazy month. And so the focus, or the beginning of this, is today's focus is just one meaningful choice. And so the question is, what is one, and I'm reading over here. I have 2 monitors. I'm not looking in a crazy place. The question is, what is one meaningful choice I can make this month that what is one meaningful choice that I can make this month that supports the business I want to build in 2026? Just sit on that for a minute. What is that one meaningful choice that you can do this month that will support the business that you want to build in 2026? And maybe even doing this challenge is your one meaningful choice. But there's so many things that it can do. And why this matters is, in all honesty, we are spending so much time juggling everything. And like I said, there's this huge pressure. I'm getting the emails in my inbox starting now about, have you planned 2026? Oh, you're late planning 2026. Come and join me for this on 2026. And there's not a lot of sense on that reflection, or just that breathing in and saying, what can I do this month? Because guess what? There's still 20 some odd days that we can have an impact on our business, that we can do the things that are going to help us be more prepared to do things in 2026. So December is different for everyone. So I want to just highlight this, because I work with business owners whose December is just super crazy. I'm not going to hear from them. I'm not going to talk to them. They're doing stuff, and December is crazy. I also have other business owners who December is actually their quietest month, because whatever they're doing, we'll talk in the creative space. Some of the people that I work with in the creative space, people have already done all their creation, and they've already bought everything that they're going to do for Christmas. And now they're focusing on execution of their Christmas, right? And they're not out buying more things, and it's not a big time for them. It's a time for them to kind of reflect and close their business. So who are you? Are you this crazy business, or are you, one that is quiet? I personally have been both. In different times in my business, I have had both of those, and I've had the in-between, where it's just kind of the nice thing. So one is acknowledging that and thinking about, what is my business, and how can I, if it's really quiet, how can you change it? And if it's really busy, how do you manage that? And one intentional choice can really create momentum. So having that intentional choice, having that focus can really create momentum in where you're going and lead into that in the new year. And this isn't about planning 2026. This first step is about this month. It's not about planning 2026. You'll find all of the things that we are doing are much more about a reflection and quality time now so that we can bring in the best in 2026. And so, what's one intentional thing that you can do in this time? And so I want to give you some examples. So one of my intentional things is actually doing this challenge. I was sitting going, what can I do in December? What's something that I can create and do? And that is, one is create a challenge for my list. That's something simple. I didn't want to do, if you've been with me for a while, I have done a 5-day challenge pretty much every year. I just didn't do it last year, I don't think. And part of the reason I didn't do it is I think that's just too much pressure for people. So we can do those same reflections over a week, one a week for 5 weeks, and maybe even have more impact because we have time to think about it. So this reflect, choose, and celebrate is very much based on a very successful challenge that I have run for many years, which used to be Kickstart, whatever the new year was. And we're still talking about all of the same things, but in a much slower, much calmer way without any pressure. This is about intention. This is about really giving your business the thought that it needs. Other things that you can choose to do is make an offer, because that's going to set you up. People don't think you can make money in December, especially in the online business space. You'll hear people saying, no, you can't. And then you're going to hear other people who it's their best time of the year and they make the most money in December because they actually try. And so one of the things is maybe you want to make an offer that you have never made before, or maybe you want to double down and re-offer something that you're offering all the time. I'm doing that. So this is my gift to you, the Reflect, Choose, and Celebrate Challenge, but I'm also going to make multiple offers this month. And you'll see that if you're in my email list, you'll see that here. So I'm doubling down on what can I do in December that's going to set me up for success. And one of them is trialing out a new offer I haven't done. And the other one is doubling down on my coaching offers. So if you want coaching and you want direction, they're there for you. So those are the two offers that I'm making to make December meaningful. You could say no to something that's draining you. That could be the one meaningful choice that you make in December, is just to say no. And I'm giving you multiple suggestions or examples of ways that I do this. So although I say make one meaningful choice in December, you may make more. And one of my meaningful choices that I make in December, and to be honest, I probably made it last year or the year before and started to do this, is I don't put any pressure on myself to plan 2026. Whether I plan 2026 today or whether I plan it on January 20th or February 1st, it doesn't matter, right? I don't need that pressure. I am so much better at using my time to do the most that I can do now in December that is going to give me a better outcome than I am putting my eyes on the next month. And if you like to plan early, that's fine. If you know me, you know either way goes. But just take that pressure off. What is the things that you want to release pressure? What's draining you? What are you just not going to do anymore, right? What's that one thing that you could release that would actually help make December more meaningful and really set you up for success in 2026? Showing up differently in your marketing. Maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe you want to double down and do something different in your marketing. Maybe you finally want to launch something that you haven't been doing that. What are other things that you could do to really show up, to create something and to look at something in your marketing that's different? And that's it. It's about one meaningful thing. Maybe you want to audit your expenses. So this is a great one that you can do. Is audit your expenses. This is, a little exercise that can make such a difference to set you up for 2026. And I do believe this is something that we should be doing multiple times a year. But look at it. Does this make sense? Does it not make sense? I just changed my email marketing tool last week because the other tool I was using more than increased the price by 30%, and I never really liked it. And I couldn't I was looking at moving and consolidating. So I run a Scrapbooking Fun Summit with a co-host. That's one of the things I do, but I am also a business coach, and this is my business coaching channel. I was using one marketing tool for our scrapbooking list, which is like 20,000 people. And I had mine on another because I couldn't figure out how to run two. I figured it out. I have two. I'm on one marketing tool, so I can not consolidated our accounts because they're completely different accounts, but I consolidated my need to know more than one tool. And it was a quarter of the price of the other one. So sometimes we need to audit. Things change. At the time I made the decision to move, the other one was right. This time it wasn't. And so that's another thing that you can move and think about. And just a little bit of how to identify your choice. So how can you choose this? And really, it's going to be different for others. And I guess the best way to do this is I want you to, take a moment and ask yourself these questions. What's coming up for you? Like really, when you say, I want to do one meaningful thing in December that's going to set me up for success in 2026, what comes up for you? Maybe it's bringing in more cash. Maybe it's streamlining your systems. Maybe it's stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something different. What's coming up for you? Trust your instincts. I can give you examples, but I don't have all the details of your individual businesses. So trust your instincts, but ask that question out of curiosity, not out of fear, not out of scarcity, not out of keeping up with somebody else. You'll know that those are things that I really want us to dismiss in the world of what we do. But what would feel good? And what would create either relief or momentum? And, get rid of the fictitious date in between. Yes, we all have fiscal years, and many entrepreneurs' fiscal year ends December 31st, but that doesn't mean that we can't carry things through that time frame. And also keep it simple. This doesn't have to be complicated. Small, simple actions really drive results. I did a challenge in September, which was Simplify to Thrive. So the simpler we make things, the more we thrive. So don't overload it by trying to do 20 or 30 meaningful things. What's one meaningful thing that you could do in December? Now, the second part of what I'm doing in December is a simple challenge to everyone, which is if you're not already making an offer, if you don't think people are spending money in December, I want to challenge you to challenge that assumption. What offer can you make in December? Now, it could be something you already have, or you could just take something super simple and turn that into an offer. So for example, you follow me, you'll be seeing me offering something about auditing, right? About taking my skills and auditing something that you have. That's a great offer depending on what you do. Maybe it's a VIP day, or an intensive can be a really good offer depending on your business model. If you have something that's more product-based, you could couple some stuff together. Maybe you have a course that you could put out. You can make an offer at this time of year and it can be very successful, particularly if you build it up correctly. And why it works is businesses do buy. I don't know whoever put out that businesses don't buy. Businesses do buy in December. And sometimes they're buying because they're depending on who your ideal client is. If you're business to business and your businesses are a larger business, they may have a budget they have to spend in December. If you're, business to business and you're more working with entrepreneurs and solo entrepreneurs, they may not be busy, and this is the time that they are working on their business and they're looking to 2026. They may have a need, right? So this is a great time. Even if you end up selling something that people don't spend, you end up having a call with somebody, or you end up having an onboarding call and you talk about what they're doing and they say, yes, I want to work with you, but let's start in January. You still made a sale, even if the cash doesn't come into the next month. So there's lots of opportunity to pre-sell stuff. And consumers, they're not tapped out, right? I mean, yes, we're spending a lot of money and we're doing that, but if what you sell meets a need that they have, then they will buy it. Depending on what you are, as you know, I have the summit called the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. We have a membership, and our membership makes a great gift for somebody. And so you can still sell, and I kind of have these two branches of my business. We are selling stuff in December. These are things that can be gifts. We can't make assumptions that our clients aren't willing to spend money. We have to, our job in business is to put our offers in front of people as frequently as possible and give them the opportunity to sell. They have the opportunity to buy. And so think about that. What's that opportunity that would be there for them to buy? So make an offer. It's not too late to do so. You can pre-sell something. I have a client who is launching a membership maybe in January or February, but she's going to pre-sell it in December, right? She's going to get that term that's often used, founding membership. She's going to pre-sell it in December. open it later. So you can pre-sell a course, you can pre-sell anything as long as it's positioning. So it's not something that you have now, you can pre-sell it. And so the two things really that I want to think about for December, and I added 2 in here because I think this is a great opportunity. Number 1 is, what is one meaningful thing that you can do in December that's going to set you up for success in 2026? No pressure, no planning, just what's that one thing that you can do? And we're going to have some really powerful questions each week going forward in the Create and Reflect Challenge. The second one is make an offer. If you're not already planning to make an offer, don't dismiss December as a profitable time. I honestly believe if you're in business, you should be making offers every month. That's part of being in business. I mean, there are some models out there that don't make offers every month, but it's rare. And so you should be making offers every month. You should be offering your client, your ideal clients, the opportunity to quote unquote transform whatever your transformation could be. It can be something fun like learning how to draw. It can be changing your website. It could be launching a new course. There's so many things, offers that you do in the diversity of businesses that are out there. But the point is we should be making offers. We should be doing that. And so those are the 2 things for week 1, because it is the beginning of December, is what's that meaningful thing you can do to set yourself up for success? And number 2 is making an offer if you want to do that. And we're going to be doing week 2 is we're actually going to be doing my absolute favorite exercise. I think it is the most powerful exercise that you can do. You can do it at any time of year, but doing it at the end of a year is probably can have huge impact on how you move into the next year. So we are going to be doing that. And it's how can we look at 2025 in a different way than what everybody else tells you to do? And how can you look at it and really think about what lessons you can learn and a bunch of other things in there. So we're going to be looking back at 2025 in a really unique way. And if you like this and you want to do more things with me, I offer something called the Bistro Bite. Bistro Bite. It is on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and it's for women entrepreneurs who want to get together with a supportive community to create the intention for the week. And our goal really is to get to know each other, to learn from each other, but it is to come out of that call with one intention. It is not recorded. It is no pressure. It is free to attend. The link is below in the comments, in the description, but it is something that you can come and join and come when you want. It's not, there's no there is the sign up so you get the reminder emails and the content and the details, but there's no pressure. This really is intended to be one of the things that I do each week at the beginning of every week is I set an hour aside to meet with myself and set my intentions for the week. But I also reflect back and see what went well and what didn't go well. And so it's a little bit of that, but it's also the ability to get inside my brain. I've had that question a lot. Heather, can I borrow your brain? I have a very unique way of looking at things, a unique way of solving problems. I also have a huge ability to really know where you want to go when you haven't been able to articulate it yet. So it's a little bit of that and a little bit of let's set an intention. Let's get together with a community of women on a Monday morning to really set our energy for that week. And so the link is below. I think it's Ignite Your Market /bistro-bite. And come and join us. And I hope that you do this exercise, that you come and listen to these videos for the month of December and really focus on each question. Just do that one question this week. What's your one meaningful thing that you can do in December to set you up for 2026? And there'll be questions of that level that let you think throughout the week about what you want and how your answers are for the next 5 weeks to the end of December. Some of them will be live. Some of them, because I'm taking time off, some of them will be a posted video, but they'll all be here for you to listen to. I'll put it in a playlist. And I wish that you do make the most boast. Sorry. This is the good part about doing live and the bad part about doing live. Make the most out of December. Focus on December. 2026 will come and it will work out for you. Take the pressure off of having the perfect plan. And let's spend some time reflecting. Let's spend some time making some choices based on that reflection. And then actually really celebrating you and the fact that you're in business and doing that. So thank you so much for listening. Drop a comment. Would love to hear from you. I will be back on Tuesday, December 9th at Tuesday, December 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern, with the second part of this week 2, where we're going to really look back at 2025 in a very different way. So thank you so much for coming live. If you're here live, thank you so much, everyone. If you just joined, because I see somebody who has joined, you can catch the replay. Will be up in a few minutes. And thank you so much. I'm excited to work through this challenge with you. Thank you.